Hello everybody, good morning. It's Holly here from iGo Yoga, and if you don't know me by now, I help people live life with less stress and a lot more joy using yoga, meditation and mindful guidance as well. So today I have a question for you as always. Are you frustrated in one or more areas in your relationships? Are you constantly avoiding conflict in your relationships? If so, then this Facebook Live, this guided meditation session is going to be for you. And if you'd like to join us for any upcoming live online yoga meditation sessions we have, then please do visit igowithholly.com and you can find more information out about that. So, how to avoid conflict in your relationships. This is one that we can all learn from. This is a topic that we can all gain some value, some insight, because let's face it, we all have relationships. They are the fundamental building blocks for society, you know. For if we want to go from A to B, we know that we cannot simply do it alone, and that it requires a network of people that you trust to help you go along the way on that journey. So maybe you're experiencing right now some sort of challenge in one or more of your relationships. Maybe you just don't see eye to eye with somebody right now, whether that be a spouse, one of your children, maybe that be somebody that you work with, or somebody in your wider community. Maybe you feel like you're just not agreeing on the most simplest of things, and now you're feeling like you're always falling out with each other, or you're always bickering, you know? I know I can certainly relate to that. Or maybe you feel like you are not valued in your relationship. Maybe you feel like you're not being listened to, being heard, and you feel like your opinion is not, being valued by, the person that you're experiencing conflict with. And maybe this is causing you now to grow apart in your relationship. Maybe you feel like, you're estranged from your spouse. Maybe your constant disagreements have caused you to harbor some kind of resentment, and you feel like you're constantly holding on to grudges, I know I can certainly relate to all of those. So if that's you, then this discussion today, this topic is going to massively help you, because it's going to enable you to stay calm and walk away from conflict without escalating a situation any further than it needs to go. This discussion is also going to help you to learn how to respond to conflict rather than react to it by habit. And it's going to also enable you to recognize that you are not the one that is reacting. It is your deep subconscious beliefs that are, playing out your life for you. And it's up to you to get back in the driver's seat. And it's also going to help you to learn how to avoid pain that actually comes from conflicting relationships. So I hope that's going to give you some value. If you're watching this and you think, you know what, this is certainly going to help me move forward, give me a thumbs up, send me some love, send me some likes. So I don't know, maybe you're in a position where you feel like you are constantly arguing with somebody. You're always rubbing somebody up the wrong way, or someone is rubbing you up the wrong way. And you're always finding yourself head to head with that person. You're right, they're right, and neither of you are coming to a conclusion. Neither of you are winning. And this is because you are both so strong in your belief systems that you will both go to the end of the world to stand by that and to stand up for yourself. And that's what causes, outbursts, explosive relationships, when two people just can't get on the same page. So today's video is hopefully going to enable you to learn to stay calm and walk away under those circumstances without harboring any resentment, without harboring or holding on to any grudges. And this is going to really teach you that, you know, two people may be arguing and both of those people think they're right. So they will never be able to see each other's point of views. You know, if you think you're right and they think they're right, then you are never going to be able to come to a middle ground. And it's about being able to let go of the need to be right and being able to walk away with your head high and not feel, you know, physically or mentally or emotionally attacked. And this is to reclaim your own personal power. You know, power is not, as if you'd have watched a past video of mine, power is not to have power over somebody or to dominate or to be that, you know, person who is right, to be in control. Power is to have the power to walk away, to have the power to let something go, to be able to have the power to move forward with your life regardless of what challenges you're facing. So, but most people don't do this. You know, most people, when they're faced with, you know, confrontation, they would rather run away and hide. Most people don't really say what's on their mind, and instead they let all of the anger, all of the resentment, all of the little niggling things that irritate people, they let them build up to a point where they absolutely explode. And that explosive nature can cause a huge breakdown in relationships, whether that be, you know, disturbing the harmony or the peace at home, whether that be falling out with a boss, somebody that, you know, is responsible for you having a job, you know. So we end up doing things that we regret, and we have got to come to a middle point where we can actually express our truth, our true nature, elegantly without offending the rights of others. So that's really the first step, is really about experiencing the conflict, not trying to avoid it, and being able to fully express your truth in an elegant way that doesn't offend anybody, you know. Because I think the most important thing is that you have the power to stand up for yourself, and sometimes that might just simply be saying no. You know, how many of us are told to do things and we just do it, and we don't want to do it? You know, our will is within us is telling us not to do it, yet we do it anyway, you know, and we put up and we shut up, and all of the, you know, all of that gets built up and harbored up over a period of time to the point of, you know, break out or break down. And so it is about learning to stand up for yourself, but it might just be about learning to say no. You know, if somebody says to you, Mom, can you give me a lift here, please? You have the power to say no. And this will often help enable you to avoid conflict in your life by being truthful from the get-go, being truthful in the present moment. I think that's so important. And the next thing that I would suggest in order to help you to avoid conflict in your relationships is being able to seek to understand where somebody is coming from. You know, what we do when we disagree with somebody, we're very quick to jump down their throat and say, no, it's not that way, it's this way, instead of actually seeking to hear the person, to be able to listen with your heart and be able to seek to understand where their beliefs are coming from. And, you know, you'll often find that they believe that way because maybe of a past experience that they've had in their life, or maybe due to their own upbringing. And then when you can actually seek to understand that, you will recognize that you don't need to take anything that anybody projects onto you personally. Okay, you can actually let go with love. So seek to understand other people in your life who are causing conflict in your relationships with a compassionate and open heart. Okay, and when you can do that, you will recognize that, you know, two people who could seemingly be the same can look at the same thing. Let's give an example. Two people could be standing across the road and looking at a house, and one person says, wow, that house, I'm going to buy that house because that house is going to be a home for my family, and or I'll be able to rent it out to another family, or be able to live their whole life there for generations to come. And then the other person who's standing looking at the same house sees nothing more than a derelict building. You know, it's a waste of money. It's not going to make anything. Look, it's falling apart. It's got a small drive. You know, two people can be looking at the same thing and see completely different things. And when you understand that, it enables you to be able to step back and step out of that reactive state of mind, which is through habit, and it enables you to learn to be able to respond, to respect that everybody has a different point of view. You know, one person can see something beautiful and another person can see something quite ugly. You know, you ladies know, you guys will be out with your friends, you say, oh, look at him over there, isn't he handsome? And your friend will go, who? Oh no, he's horrible. And so, you know, two people can certainly be looking at the same thing and see something different. And this is because, you know, we don't see with our eyes, otherwise we'd all see the same thing, but we see through our eyes with our mind. And it is our mind, our thoughts that form our belief system, and our belief system projects what we see. Okay, so we see through our eyes with our mind. So this will enable you to actually, you know, recognize and respect that everybody has a different perspective, and we're all looking at life through a different lens and from a different angle. Okay, so none of us are wrong, we are all right. So it's about us being able to recognize that and being able to just, you know, to release the need to always be right, to always win an argument. Another thing that I would massively suggest, and another way of moving forward in a relationship without and avoiding conflict, is by aligning yourself to your values. And we all have a value system. We all have a set of rules, a set of principles that we follow each day. For example, you know, one of my values is I get up every day and I meditate, and, you know, I like to spend my mornings with Shanti. I don't like to take any calls until before 12 p.m. now that we're in lockdown, you know, and we all have these certain values. Somebody who cooks dinner would like to wash up straight away, another person would like to wash up the next day. And in a relationship, it's about understanding each other's values, each other's value system, and actually spending time coming together to sit down to work through, you know, what is most important to you, and then you're able to then exchange your values and work together to create a new value system whereby you can set boundaries for each other. You know, you can respect each other from that perspective, and then you can move forward, setting new goals, creating a new vision for the future, whether that be a 12-month goal, 2-year goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goal, wherever you want to be, but knowing that every step of the way you are going to be on the same page. You know, I think that's so important, is to realign your value system. And, you know, within that, you will also have to respect your differences as well. You know, that sometimes we just do things differently. And if you feel like you cannot move forward and get over that, then it's about being able to walk away with love. Okay, walk away with love. And it's not being afraid to do that as well. Sometimes we feel so stuck in our relationships, we feel lost, and we don't know, you know, which way to turn. And so, you know, the one thing that I know is that quite often we have to hit rock bottom in our relationships, in our life, before we can rise again, before we can, you know, move back to a state of harmony. You know, before we can get to that state, we have to experience some sort of disorder. So, and that will help us to reconfigure who we are, not only as an individual, but as a couple, as a team, as an organization, as a network. And so one of the amazing ways that, I have found myself to free myself up from feeling stuck is through meditation, because meditation really brings clarity of mind. It's very important that you know what your values are before you try and change what someone else is doing. You got to know who you are, understand yourself, and know where you are going in your life. And so taking time each day to sit down and to find that quiet retreat within enables me to clear away a lot of accumulated energy, past emotions, past memories, letting go of all of the petty things in my life, where I can actually start to sit in a quiet space and actually gain insight as to, what's most important to me. Meditation also enables us to be more present in the moment. I think when we're quite often bickering and arguing and facing some sort of conflict in our relationships, it's because we're in the past. We're in the past and we're arguing about something that happened that is no more, or we're arguing about what might or might not happen in the future. And so what meditation does is enables us as an individual to settle down into the present moment and to realize that, this is really in essence all we have. And it's about responding in that moment rather than reacting in the past or the future. And when you can find that space, when you find that quiet moment for yourself each day to sit down and meditate, then it enables you to really let go and surrender the ego. And the ego is that part of you that will go to the end of the earth because it believes itself to be right. And usually this is only because of fear and an automatic response to trying to protect ourselves. That's what we do. That's what the ego is there for. It's there to protect us. So when you sit down and you meditate, you can let go of the ego, and you can actually start to really see things with a new awareness as they really are. And so what this has done for me personally when I meditate and I bring up people in my meditation who have caused conflict in my life, I am able to see that the difficulty that I have with them is the difficulty that I have with myself. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The difficulty that I had with them was the difficulties that I was having with myself. So if I was met face to face with somebody who thought they were right, who was always impatient, always bossing me around, telling me what to do, then, that is an opportunity and was an opportunity for me to turn my awareness inward and say, am I sometimes like that way? Do I sometimes possess those same personality traits? Because what you see in other people is a direct reflection of that which is within you. Okay, and that was a hard pill for me to swallow, but over time, with awareness, through meditation, through journaling, I was able to discover actually those parts that I was resisting in other people were parts that I needed to bring to the surface within myself. And I'm able now to thank those other people for bringing that out, because I was able to really see what areas of my life that I needed to work on. So I hope that's helped you. If there's something about a partner or somebody that irritates the life out of you, then I want you to check in with yourself. Does that quality, that irritating aspect of them, does that reside in you as well? Okay, it's very interesting. So meditation, what it does is enables you to return back to your center. And your center is your heart, where there's an abundance of love and compassion and forgiveness. So it doesn't matter what somebody has done to you in your life, no matter how bad, over time, through consistency and daily practice of meditation, you will be able to open your heart to them and understand them. Yes, it is not to react to someone, it is to seek to understand why they did what they did, why they said those hurtful words, why they're causing conflict, why they're projecting their anger onto you. And that will enable you to be able to respond. And the response to that could be, you open your heart to this, this person that's causing conflict in your life, and you might want to speak your truth, maybe set some new boundaries of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and that way then you can develop a new connection with somebody. You can rekindle an old flame, or you can learn to walk away with love. Don't be afraid to walk away from any relationship that is not serving you. But if you do that, make sure that you walk away with love. Okay? So that is understanding that every relationship has its purpose. And some of those purposes come to an end sooner rather than later. And it is to be okay with that deep in your heart space, and it is to be able to walk away with love. If not, we're staying, we are developing those new boundaries, we're realigning our values, and we're moving forward into a state of harmony. And I feel like this is really what me and Phil have done through our life. We've gone from disorder to order, from, chaos into harmony. And we're constantly, being there with each other on that wonderful dance, because life is about change. The circumstances, situations, environments are always changing around us. And quite often, the one person that you trust the most, unfortunately, is the one person who gets it. When you're angry, you could be kind to the rest of the world and be mean to your partner, mean to those that you love. And it's not that you don't mean that deep down, but that's sometimes what we project. And if we can come to a mutual understanding of each other, when we seek to understand each other, then we can move forward and support each other through whatever turbulent ground you're walking on. So I hope that's giving you value today. That is how you avoid conflict in your relationship. So with some of our clients now, we're going to be going into a private practice where we're going to be doing some breathing, some chanting, and then go into a guided meditation on how to release that resentment, release any grudges that we have, that we hold for people, and shine a light on those people that we love, so we can love, we can be compassionate, and we can really open our hearts to, so we can create space for us to move forward in our life, instead of feeling stuck in the present, feeling stuck and powerless, or being stuck in the past. So I hope that's giving you some value today. Thank you so much for being with me on this live, if you've watched through to the end, and hopefully I'll see you on one of our live online yoga meditation classes very soon. All you need to do is visit igowithholly.com and you'll get more information about that. So thank you so much for sharing. For watching this. Thank you for inviting me into your home, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon. Namaste. Bye-bye.